Welcome back to For the Record. I'm Shawn Murphy. My guest today, Chris DiPaola, owner and operator of a couple of radio stations in the greater Westerly, Rhode Island area, but also, since he is a business owner, he is now the proud president of the Westerly Pawcatuck Downtown Business Association. So let's talk about, I think we kind of have an idea of what that association is, but I'll let you describe it.
Well, the mission statement of the Westerly Pawcatuck Downtown Business Association is to foster growth and to better the downtown area, and the downtown area encompasses both downtown Pawcatuck, Connecticut, and downtown Westerly, Rhode Island. As a matter of fact, the United States Historical Society has actually designated the downtown area. It's kind of like the old Main Street USA program.
Right.
And there are many areas around the country that have these official designations, and we're recognized by that society. So we go by that borderline. So anybody who's within that specific district that is, I would probably say about maybe a 1 mile radius, maybe 1.5 mile radius, is considered to be downtown.
Now, it's interesting that it's Westerly Pawcatuck, because I also know that your Chamber of Commerce also is Westerly Pawcatuck as well, and this business association, there seems to be a very symbiotic relationship between Westerly and Pawcatuck in that sense.
Yes, it's almost like, as a matter of fact, if you look at our slogan, it says 2 states, 1 downtown, and that's exactly what it is. I mean, if you come into the area, unless you're a road geek like me and you know exactly where the state line is, it's kind of hard to determine where the state line is because it looks like 1 downtown.
You know, embarrassingly, I kind of know the distinction from like the bars. If you do a bar, you know, C.C. O'Brien's is in Pawcatuck, right? But then you just go a little bit further and you're in Westerly. So, you know, by the pub crawls, I kind of know the borders of the 2 towns and states, for that matter, you know.
Well, for those who run the gauntlet, you could probably tell if you spend enough time down there. But the Downtown Business Association, I'm very proud to, you know, be involved with it. And as president, I don't consider myself to run the organization. I'm basically, as I'm sure you know, when you're president of a nonprofit, you're more of a servant, and that's exactly what I am.
The power hasn't gone to your head yet or anything like that?
We'll talk about that off the air.
Yeah, don't mention that, Shawn.
No, but in all seriousness, we have a fine group of people alongside of me on the executive board. We have Joe Negrelli of Negrelli's Jewelry, who's the vice president, our secretary, who does a fantastic job, Bruce Prescott, who is the proud owner of Zoe & Company Professional Bra Fitters. I know because I was fitted over there.
Did you say bra fitters? Really? I haven't visited that establishment yet.
But no, he's a great guy. You know what? He's taught me a lot about structure and how to run an organization by Robert's Rules of Order. And you know, so many years. You know, I've been to meetings and I've learned so much from Bruce, who taught me this is the way you do something, this is the way you're not supposed to do something. You can't make a decision unilaterally.
Right.
You know, you have to make sure you've got the approval of not only the board members, but also the members themselves. And then, of course, our treasurer, he's the secretary. Our treasurer is Joe Michelli, the owner of Michelli's Furniture in downtown Westerly. So we have a fine group in our cabinet, if you will.
Right.
And as far as the membership goes, even though we were talking about that borderline for the Historical Society of what is considered to be downtown, anybody can be a member. To be a voting member, you have to be within that borderline that I talked about. But you can be an associate member and, you know, pay your dues. You can really be anywhere to be not only in the Downtown Business Association, but also get involved in many of the events that we do.
So because I happened to be taking a ride down Musquamaca Beach the other day, and those aren't really part, because it's not downtown, so it's not really, they could be associate members, they just couldn't be voting members, correct?
Well, just to make that point even clearer, you know, WBLQ is an associate member of the Musquamaca Business Association.
Okay, because that's, yeah.
Right, but even if WBLQ weren't a radio station, let's say Zoe & Company Bra Fitters wanted to join the Musquamaca Business Association, they most certainly could,
right,
as could businesses of the, you know, Musquamaca area. It doesn't matter where you are, it's just that to be a voting member, you have to be within that downtown border.
It's interesting, you're a business owner of a couple of radio stations, and yet you can learn from the gentleman you had just mentioned about not, you know, organizational skills and just the do's and don'ts of just running this, being president of this organization, this association, yet you're a business owner and you're still, even this, just doing this is sort of a, you know, new territory for somebody when they first get the role.
Yeah, it is. It is a new territory, and especially you're so used to. I mean, luckily, I have been running a nonprofit radio station, so I get to see what a nonprofit is run like. I've also been president of the Westerly Rotary Club in 2005, 2006. So I was able to get some experience as to the proper way to go about doing a nonprofit. But it is difficult to make a transition from being in a for-profit business and running things your way as the business owner. Now all of a sudden you've got to step back and
get approval from everybody before you do anything.
Anything, that's right. But you know what? It's a great way to learn how to work together. It almost brings you back to your days in school. I know sometimes when we think about being back in school, everybody has a different opinion. Oh, I don't want to go back to school. And some people say, oh, I'd like to go back to school. But it brings you back to the basics that you learn, whether it be in high school, being a class president or something like that. And all of those things that you learn as a child, they definitely come in handy when you're running a nonprofit organization. And as a matter of fact, on the day that we're taping this program, we actually have a Downtown Business Association meeting this evening. So
you've got a packed day today.
Yeah, we have a packed day. And at the time that this program is being recorded, and I know it could air at all different times, there is a very popular event that the Chamber of Commerce puts on, the Greater Westerly Pawcatuck Area Chamber of Commerce, the Pawcatuck River Duck Race, which I'm sure you've heard of, and that happens in the later part of April. Now, even though that's a Chamber of Commerce event, the Downtown Business Association gets involved by putting up yellow and orange colored balloons on all of those lampposts, which I'm sure you've seen coming through the downtown area. The Greater Westerly Pawcatuck Area Chamber of Commerce has the Downtown Virtue Arts Festival. Actually, it's called the Virtue Outdoor Art Festival. And even though that's a chamber event, the Downtown Business Association gets involved because it is downtown and it's within our district. So we get involved